You would only make a visiting professor someone who's nearly a professor, right? One would imagine. Somehow, these guys must have seen something useful, and that's called vision, right? You say, oh, this guy, okay, apart from Imperial College, which has a good name, but no, somehow he went through. I tell you, another university in Malaysia did not. I don't hold any grudges. I am not a visiting professor. And he's a former student of mine, lovely man. I won't mention the name. And they didn't make a visiting professor because I was not a professor. So they didn't want to sort of risk making me a visiting professor. Right? So I'm very pleased that your university had the vision to see this guy maybe we can work with. So this is your Vice Chancellor, this is our Provost, soon to expire, his term is finished, I think he will be replaced very soon. And they signed an agreement in Imperial College in 2014. Several things before, but that's the launch, the start of a day-to-day collaboration and a centre launch at Imperial College under the UTM banner. What we do is this. There must be a vision in life. This is why I bring it here. There's a vision. Our vision is in Imperial College we can do A, B, C, A, B, Z, whatever, a number of things. UTM can do another number of things. If these two things are too close, then it's trouble, right? I mean, that's evident. Because there's no reason for me to do anything with you, there's no reason for you to do anything with me. Because we're doing the same thing. Okay, so that's called complementarity. Complementarity is about finding a joint. My fingers will be complementary when I do that, and they're not complementary, and they're overlapping. Overlap is bad, not complement is useless, apart from being a good friend. And complementary is finding what is common. If you do the same as a person, then, so we found something common. The common was that we want to turn around a cycle. This was Dr. Raju's idea and mine, but it was mainly his, and we have ideas of Imperial gadgets, which we can test in the real engine condition here, and then they optimize. Something wrong with them, something needs to be improved, we come back to Imperial, and then you optimize. This is a cycle, right? There's overlap in between, this is overlap, but you find complementarity with your peers, whether being in other departments of the college, or the university, or outside Malaysia, or inside Malaysia. So we came up with this vision that hasn't really changed. Well, he hasn't changed it yet. He has to ask my permission, I hope. So the vision remains that we want to turn around concepts in full. In the process of doing that, we brought to UTM a number of collaborators that are my collaborators, and they're funding now our research here, which happens by this kind. And these are the figures, facts and figures. I don't want to share too much because it'll be like showing off. But this, I want to show off these people. These people I do want to show off. Right? This is the current status, right? These are people that are in the team, and of all sorts of looks, nationalities, appearances, all sorts of people. And this is the people that count. These are the people that count. And this is what the center hosts. Okay, so some collaborators move on to the main topic. Still okay. Some collaborators are key to start others. So there is industry, and in my business and in engineering there are services in industry. Ricardo is not me. It's a big company in the world called Ricardo. It just happened to have my name. But it's not me. I can assure you it's not me. Or anybody in automotive knows Ricardo. It's not me. So they don't have any funding per se, but they are service companies that introduce me to some others who can then bring the interesting concepts and ideas. So I highlight that and the same goes. These people, Ricardo introduced me to, not to Honda, introduced me to Ford, Jaguar, Lotus, although they are competitors, never mind. At least 3 of those companies are introduced to me by service companies. So not all things you do might lead you to getting your next grant, but they are opening for somebody else. So Mackenzie, if you do an industry, you've got some big consultancies that can be helpful for you to be known. Okay, never mind about that. Okay, then you got very fruitful people, right? Now this is really good, because this is somebody, well, 3 people really, 2 people, no, 3 people I would say, who suddenly got a paper, 2 of these papers are best paper awards, and it doesn't look impressive today. They're really impressive in my area to get an output of that magnitude. So this was mostly about cooling of blades, cooling of systems. And again, I had money from Alstom, and I went to the US, and it was painful. It was a very unpleasant and painful, because it was a difficult contract. We delivered, it was hard, but we did, paper production machine. Let me show you a not paper production machine. This is a contract we had on hybrid propulsion for marine systems, which really was a huge amount of effort and very limited outputs. Well, sorry, no matter. Now, interesting, this paper, one of those, is now my number 4 most cited paper. Who would have thought? When I thought it was a lot of rubbish. But I thought at the time, come on. But no, actually, eventually, it's become one of the most cited papers of the list of papers. So you don't know. This was I presented 5 years ago in MIT. I made the same comment. Today I might have to change it and say I never know, because fuel cells have come back, and they come back with more interest, and therefore it's become a highly cited paper. But lots of work, very limited outcome. And I feel that this was a really hard, very hard thing for me to do. I finally became professor in 2012, thank you to all my students. And then I was able to relax, right? Okay, right. So that's it. That's good. A good life. I can enjoy the rest of my life, right? I said that to Professor Spikes, a very well-known professor of lubrication, and he said, Ricardo will be just the opposite. So that's not very good. I'd rather be a reader then. So at that time you say, relax, because I don't have to get promoted. That's a very, very good objective, because you feel relaxed, right? But look, 2012, when was I appointed? 1994. Took some years. So I'm very grateful that my seniors eventually thought I could be promoted. I was 44 years old, actually, rather young anyway, and I failed once to become professor. I don't want to raise your hand, so I don't want to do that. How many people fail promotion? I don't want to do that. But I failed to become professor for one time. They said no, with the full support of my department. I was knocked down, big time, right? And it only took me 3 days to be picked up myself. And my mentor said, Ricardo, when you become professor, you will really, really value it. I said, I don't quite understand it today, what you say, but I'm sure I will. Now, 2 years later, I became professor, right? Right, you get, that's okay, right? Okay. If I ran away, I would have missed the opportunity where I'm going to tell you a few small things that have happened, and I did want to share with you that particular fact, so that you know that failure is common to human nature. It is only what you do after. And it was only 2 years wait, because at Imperial College you have to wait 2 years, you don't quite make it that 1 year. And over tea and coffee I can tell you what happened, why. But it's okay, I'm very happy. A week later, I was very happy. And 2 years later, when I received a call in Beijing, in the middle of the night, because I happened to be different time zone, my head of department couldn't be happier to tell me I become professor. So, industry collaborations. Number 1, address a real need as perceived by the industrial company. Because you already have your curiosity-driven research, you got your area, you've put that to fruition, now you're seeking external funding, but only after that, I hope. You're not trying to start a new area and get funding within a month. I mean, you might be very clever and do it, but most of us cannot. You might, but most of us cannot. Then you say, I'm going to seek funding. So I'm going to go to this company and tell them what I want to tell them. I'm going to tell them they should be working in fluid mechanics, fan studies, and turbine. I should, definitely should. What would happen when I do that? They will say, we're not interested in unstable fluid mechanics. I thought I was doing the most interesting problem in life. Oh, that's a bit disappointing. Okay, I don't want to work with you, I go to this other company. I tell you the same story, and I eventually realize that I don't want to hear my story. It's a big lesson I learned in the early 2000s. When you go and see a company, you do not tell them what you want to tell them, do you? I hope you don't. You tell them, you've learned, you've studied what they need, and you can't address the need, otherwise you'll be incompetent, and then you never talk to them again, because you're incompetent. You tell them, because you've understood what they need. Sorry, you wait, they tell you what they need, and then you react what they need. Sorry, that really is the bottom line of contract negotiations. You go to a meeting and you don't tell them all the stuff that you think is exciting about life. You make the meeting capable of delivering then to you what they need. You react to that suggestion and you act and follow through. I can assure you that's been the key of my industrial success. I had my area, my curiosity driven, my gadget, my good people, and I was ready to listen. But I very often used to go to companies and tell them I love fluid mechanics, and I just like the stuff, and never got any money because I wasn't listening. Can I encourage you all to address a real need that's perceived by the industrial company, not by you? 2, how does the new knowledge from a collaboration can contribute to an industrial company performance? You need to know that. Oh, that's a really nice gadget you've got. But what percentage improvement would be on my product? Well, I don't know about that. I never thought of it. But that's not a very good answer. You could say, I will look into it and get back to you. We're going to study the matter. We get back to you, right? Well, I have no idea. Well, I'm not interested in performance. Well, of course, none of us will do that as engineers. But okay, it's not so much about research project outcomes, but about the impact of the research on the company productivity and competitiveness. These are the words of Ed Greatsa at MIT, many of these words, who I know reasonably well. Share a vision with the university of how collaborations can work. They share a vision with you. Invest in long-term relations, not so much about money, but about delivery. Right? So invest in long-term relations. I told you about Seiichi Baraki back in 2005. I have a couple of, I traveled to Nagasaki, had a nice dinner, a nice whatever, I gave a lecture. A long way to go to do that, eh? A long way to go to do that. And I nearly got sick with the food. I remember that. I flew back, and that was the end. I became a friend, right? And I invested in that relation. And investment is not about bothering them, because it's the other thing we can fear. We are bothering them. Yes, beware that bother is no good. It's a fine balance between bothering somebody and becoming a strong relation with that person. By knocking on someone's door, you might get somewhere, but once they know you and you knock on their door, you're likely to proceed. And I have a very strong vision that this was invest in long-term relations. Don't give up unless, obviously, nothing is going to happen, and many years later, you decide there's no. A strong communication between teams, very key. Dr. Raju brought my suit late today, because I left it in his car. And he has the guts to bring my suit late. You know why? He was on the phone between 10 and 1 talking to MHI in Japan about a project we have. I got the suit, I changed, and I'm here, no problem. But the point is that this is about communication. Anybody who works with me has the unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I want a meeting every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. I don't have enough time necessarily to do that with everybody. But I would have a typically in 1 month 14 times maybe I talk to my industrial sponsors. 12, 10 is definitely no less than that. And my team does that too. And that's about strong communication. Don't fear communication because you expose yourself. If you expose yourself and because you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't be there in the first place. Don't fear about exposing yourself. You are good and competent and strong. and they're going to believe in you, and if you talk to them and acknowledge that you don't know, you're going to have time to sort that out, because they don't know. They're even more, they even know less than you. So don't fear this communication. Often we do fear communication, and I'm never fearful of it. Never hide, and always say the truth, but never expose your team badly. My team is the best team in the world. You obviously all know that, right? There's nobody in this room that is better than a member of my team. And ask anybody, some of which are listening from, and they're here, because I've got at least 5 PhDs here of mine listening. There's nobody better than these guys, right? Because I'm going to play a team effort. And I genuinely mean that, because you've never heard talk to me badly about anybody who worked with me. Right, summary. Seek industrial experience, we talked about that. Be bold, means put yourself out at the fear of disappointment. Take your PhDs as far as they go. I think many of you, some of you come back, and they come back from PhDs, and it takes time, because you've got all this teaching to do. So do I, by the way. I teach more than average at Imperial College. Slightly more, I wouldn't say much more, but slightly more. I give 2 full courses, and I supervise students. We all do, it's our job. Never make an excuse of teaching, not to perform. It might work, but it definitely wouldn't work at Imperial. Best reputation of your institutions. Don't have a presentation disaster, and if you do, just pick yourself up and go and learn, right? And the next one will be so much better. Or come and give it to me, and I'll tell you what I think. And they get a friend, right? Nobody presents in my team without a pre-presentation of the team. I'm sure no one does. Okay, fear of being exposed. Developing a new area distinct. Did I say that in those words? I didn't, I have it written. Developing a new area distinct from the PhD by building on it. I didn't say that. I'm sorry, I have to extend for 1 minute. I mean, that sentence is quite important. Because you might come along and say, I have this area, Professor Ricardo has this area, I still have the same area, and then I've got a little bit of something to answer for. I mean, in my team. In the case of 2 people, 2 institutions, it's different. So develop on your PhD, but try to have a distinct area. There's somebody I want to address in the audience, he knows who it is. Absolutely important, you build on an area and develop a distinct something about it. And just to finish this particular thing, when I interview for a lectureship, and I don't do that to professors, and they will sit on the table. The table is empty because there's nothing on the table. There's a panel of 6 or 7 people, and my question is always the same one. They'll probably know it by now. What do you bring? I say it more nicely and kindly. I'm going to say it robustly to you. What do you bring to the table? I don't say it that way. It's a bit too imposing. British never speak that way. I'm not British anyway, but they wouldn't speak that way. No. So I'm going to ask you, no matter your status in life, to get a piece of paper, not now, because there's no time, and write the answer to the question. What I bring to the table in a collaboration, choose your collaboration, choose your whatever, say you're applying to Imperial College. What I bring, you look at the table, it's pretty empty, right? What I bring here that would allow me to grow, and they believe that I can grow. What is that thing I bring? And you could be a manager, you could be a researcher, you could be a PhD, well, not really, but you could be a lecturer who wants to become senior lecturer. Well, everybody's like senior lecturer these days, and then you could be a study professor. Well, think about that question. What I bring, and no matter what you are, I bring a good understanding of unsteady fluid mechanics in solving flows in turbo machinery, and I bring with me what is that? Because I think that would be my question if you ever apply at Imperial College. Reliant experience of others, forced collaborations, and this whole issue of going to conferences and putting yourself out.